Bracken Klar, executive producer of Focus Black Oklahoma. This is a sneak peek of a story about a new movie that portrays the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre and Greenwood. It's available to stream now. For more information, please listen to the story and tune in next month for more. Thank you.
Greenwood Rising, The Rise of Black Wall Street is a new full-length motion picture that was released on October 11th on the Fawesome and Future Today streaming platforms. This movie centers on O.W. Gurley, a visionary and trailblazing businessman whose hard work laid the foundation for Tulsa's Greenwood district. The film's director, Aaron L. Williams, and lead actress Fatima Marie, who plays Emma Gurley, spoke with FBO's Cepeda Cheeks about the film.
It's like history. When they say history repeats itself, it's so true. You saw everybody talking about support Black business, support Black business. We hear about how in the Black community, that's the one time the Black dollar, it leaves the Black community within 6 hours. But everybody else, it stays. Black Wall Street was the first time when the Black dollar stayed in the community for years. And they saw prosperity and growth because of that. They had Black banks. They had Black schools, Black education that made you feel like it was proud to be Black.
Are you familiar with any reconciliation efforts, reparation efforts?
We actually talked about, we put a little intact screen talking about the Supreme Court hearing on how the last 2 surviving victims were like kind of denied that. And the reason why we wanted to add that as the last screen in the movie is so people can realize that a lot of times when media can influence a lot of decisions that happens in politics, just like the newspapers back then. We talk about that a whole lot. She said, we're not going to let the newspapers dictate our fate. But back then, the newspaper would dictate the fate of African Americans. They pretty much put Dick Rowling on trial in the newspapers. But because of that, that inspired them to deputize the citizens to go march on Greenwood and try to burn it to the ground over that 2-day massacre. So my goal was to show how, just like media inspired them to tear down it, we want to be able to show how we purposely put that last screen in there about how they were denied their reparations in one of the worst acts against African Americans on American soil in U.S. history.
Fatima, can you talk more about your connection with Emma Gurley, not just your portrayal, but just overall her as a historical figure?
Yes, of course. I love that she was a very strong woman. If you read about Emma, there's many things that she stood up for, even maybe when Gurley wouldn't. Like she's fighting for what she believes. I love her strength. I think that's so important that she's not a doormat, especially with O.W. Gurley, who is always in his head and has all these dreams, and he has a certain vision that he's kind of like bringing her along, right? But she's with him every step of the way. So you see strength in this woman, and I think it's amazing that it's my favorite scene that she tells him, though, what about me? What about me? So she does stand up for herself, and that's what I love especially. And that's, I think, my favorite part in the movie, of just in all the different scenes, she's still fighting with him. She's by his side. She is a team player. And that's so important in a relationship, that it's not one-sided, or it's just not about this person, but it's really, we cannot do this together. And I feel like that is what she brings in almost every scene. So I love so many things about her. She's very positive. She's very inspiring. When she sees that he feels defeated, that's like his inspiration.
Without spoiling it, can y'all tell me each y'all favorite part of filming this?
Without spoiling it, my favorite scene, is that good for you? My favorite scene? Because I love this movie, not just because I'm in it, but I loved being a part of it and the scenes, and just it was great just to be hands-on and just literally like in every scene almost. I love when he has a moment and she finally gets her piece, because she feels that she never gets a chance to say anything, or she feels maybe that it's like he's forgotten about her, kind of. The focus is just him as usual in his dreams, and he's always in his head. So she finally gets her moment, that's the one time in the movie he's really listening to her uninterrupted. So it's a scene that may make some women cry. I actually cry when I watch it, and I can relate to that. I think that a lot of women will be able to relate to this scene, and you really feel me, especially in that scene more than probably any scene, because it's like I'm really pouring my heart and trying to really let him understand, how I feel. And I think that's the one time that he finally gets it.
So a film that is based in Tulsa, how do you make that get broader appeal to a broader audience out in the rest of the world and the rest of the country?
So the film is about Tulsa, but Tulsa was a small representation of what the rest of the world was feeling. Because if you even just search Black Wall Street on Facebook, you realize you see a bunch of apps about Black Wall Street. See, one thing that is synonymous with African Americans across America is that they're trying to find that Black wealth in different areas. If they're not gifted to be that athlete or this, how can my business be successful?
Is there anything that we've missed that you would like to discuss? Anything that you would like to put out?
One thing I do want to bring light to is the platform that we're putting this film out on, because this platform is actually coming out on Fawesome, which is a minority-owned platform. So I think it's great that we can start to tell these powerful stories on a platform that is in itself minority-owned. Like I applaud Fawesome on their willingness to take risk on actually telling these type of stories that matter, telling powerful stories from people of color and stories that make a difference using their platform. Because we see a lot of different platforms out here today that are telling stories, but how often do you see stories that matter? Unless they're being done by large studios. But for an independent minority-owned platform to trust an independent minority-owned production company to tell these type of stories, that doesn't happen in history. When's the last time in history you've seen a small minority company produce a story of this magnitude? So I really have to really give my hats off to Fawesome for even open up these doors for a minority-owned company to do something even like this and have the ability to tell these type of stories. Because a lot of times we even get pigeonholed in the type of story. I can show you some emails I've had with other companies, and they're like, well, we're only looking for a hood movie or a thriller or a Christmas movie.
And Fatima, is there anything that we missed out on that you would like to say?
You had some great questions as well. I think the main thing is, I think it's such an important story that really needs to get out. So I hope that everyone does go to this platform and watches a movie, and they really need to do their research, and they can kind of see like, wow, this really happened. A lot of people are unaware that this happened, right? Like I know some people in their 20s they're like, oh, I didn't know. So it's so educational. It's so instrumental what Aaron did here, that he brought this story to life. And I think that, I just hope that everyone truly gets a chance to see this great movie.
If you want to tell us more about the platform.
On Instagram and Facebook, and leave your comments, follow their network, leave your comments so that we can engage with it. We've all been following the page and trying to follow success. So if you have questions there, I'll say the best thing to do is leave comments on their social media pages so you can engage with some of the cast, engage with the network directly. One thing about their platform is I've noticed they respond to comments and they reach back out to the people that reach out. So they're very people friendly, people forward platform and network. So I would just commend everybody to kind of check out Fawesome, download it on their phones, and let's try to support a network that's trying to support the independence, because that's what's needed in this market. In order, just like the story of Greenwood, it took a community supporting each other, and Fawesome has positioned themselves to be that community that's supporting. So I would just commend people to go out and support Fawesome as well.
Definitely, yes.
Greenwood Rising, The Rise of Black Wall Street, a historical drama that depicts the incredible history of Tulsa's Greenwood District and Black Wall Street, is available to stream on Roku, Apple Store, Google Play Store, and all smart TVs.
Thank you so much.
For Focus Black Oklahoma, I'm Cepeda Cheeks in Tulsa.
Focus Black Oklahoma is produced in partnership with KOSU Radio and Tri-City Collective. Additional support is provided by the Commemoration Fund and Press Forward.
Our theme music is by Moffett Music.
Focus Black Oklahoma's executive producers are Quraysh Lansana and Bracken Klar. Our associate producers are Smriti Iyengar and Jesse Ulrich.
You can visit us online at kosu.org or focusblackoklahoma.com, and on YouTube at Tri-City Collective. You can follow us on Instagram at FocusBlackOK and on Facebook at facebook.com/FocusBlackOK.
You can hear Focus Black Oklahoma on demand for free at kosu.org. the NPR app, npr.org, or wherever you get your podcasts.